Hi, this is Natalie with the Fifth Journey, and I'm going to be making one of the new Brambleberry fragrances, which is Cashmere. And I had to wait to get 2 bottles of it so I could get the 2 loaves done. What I'm going to do is do a base solid color with the fragrance, and the reason I'm doing that is because it accelerates. So it also discolors the tan. So what I'm going to do is have a base of the soap with the fragrance in it and let it discolor on its own. And then I have 3 colors here. I have one with a titanium dioxide or a white, and then I have a red Moroccan clay, and then I have a rose, a pink clay, Brazilian pink clay. And I'll do it a little bit backwards. So I will bring this to a very light emulsification and pour it into those 3, and then I will add in the fragrance. Go ahead and pour them into these 2 before it accelerates. I'm soaping at a little bit warmer than I wanted to, but I'm kind of on a time crunch, so I'm soaping at about 100 degrees, and I'm going to go ahead and hope for the best as far as this goes, that it doesn't speed up too fast, but leaving that to the end, pour those in there, light emulsification, and the batter I'm using does have shea in it, so this is kind of my normal soap batch, adding a little bit of shea. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll fast forward through this, and then we will come back. Excuse the mess over here. This is for another project. This is actually the cinnamon cocoa, and let me grab one real quick. This is what I did with the cinnamon cocoa, and I made it with one batch because they have like smaller bottles, excuse me. So in the second bundle I got of the 5 fragrances, it came with another one, so I'm going to go ahead and make another batch of that. So anyway, coming back to this, I'm going to go ahead and get started, put my gloves on, I already have my goggles on, and get going. I am done pouring these. Got the swirls in there. So I was kind of doing a little bit of the mini drop swirl on the top. And if you noticed at all, even though I've sped it up, when I added the fragrance oil, and by the way, this fragrance oil smells so good. When I added in, I did have time to mix it in, work with it. Once I got it poured, it was great, and I'm like, oh, I've got plenty of time. But then in the mold, I could watch it. It was setting up very quickly, so definitely keep that in mind if you use that. So I'm really excited how this one's going to turn out. So I'm going to go ahead and let this sit for a little bit, spritz the top with alcohol, put it in the oven to promote gel phase, because that really helps with the natural colorants. And then we'll come back when it's time to cut. Okay, we're back to cut the Cashmere soap. And excuse the lighting, we've got a big storm coming through, so it's really kind of dark today. Also, it's very humid, so we're kind of dealing with that. But we'll go ahead and take a look. I just unmolded these a couple hours ago. We have a nice tan color through here. So that will probably darken a little bit more. And then we have some of those really pretty swirls in there, and I'm hoping we have some nice design. So I'm going to go ahead and trim up the edges real quick, and then I'll cut the sides. I have some other projects kind of going on in the background. Just had to get everything done today. This did harden up pretty fast. As remember, the fragrance did accelerate, but it at least accelerated after I got into the mold. So let's go ahead, trim it up, cut it, and see what it looks like. Did have some kind of interesting things happen. If you can see that circle, I did get a partial gel ring, which is really kind of unusual since it did get very warm, and I did end up putting in the oven to come to gel phase. I had the light on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these out on a tray, kind of separate them out, and then put them in the oven at 170, and then turn the oven off, and, excuse me, turn the oven on, bring it 170, put the soaps in, and that should help promote gel phase. And my understanding is you can do that again, and I've actually have done that before with a soap that was just really acting wonky. That was one of the LaCroix soaps that I had done. And so I'm going to see if we put that in the oven, if it does anything, and see if we can get rid of that gel ring. It's completely harmless. It's just cosmetic, and it may be kind of cool looking, you know, once I put my stamp in there. So I really like how these colors turned out. Could have probably used a little bit more of the red Moroccan clay. So you have the rose clay, and you can kind of see a little bit of the I don't want to say brown, but kind of the tan in there, and that is the red Moroccan clay, and then I have the pink rose clay. But those are really fun. They're really pretty. They smelled really good. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead, trim them up first just to get them so they're all ready, and then I'll put them in the oven to promote gel phase. Now, I want to do a quick update on the Cashmere bars. So I went ahead and put these in the oven and to kind of force more of a gel phase. And I do still have some of those gel rings, but they're not as obvious, and they really blended out in quite a few of the bars. So some of them, like this one, is really good. It's got one on one side, but it doesn't have so much on the other side, and this one is not an end piece. So it did help. See, that one's a good one. It did help blend them out, but didn't get rid of it completely. So that one's pretty good. So once I get these stamped, they'll be good. Like that's a good one. Got just a tiny one there. Once I get these stamped, you really won't be able to tell that much on them. They still smell really good. The scent did kind of fade a little bit, but you know, it's just the second day after making them, and you know, scents can morph as they cure. And then this is that kind of that yellow little spot, and I think that's just some of the fragrance. It has lightened up a bit, but still there a little bit. So like I said, I have them trimmed up. I am going to go ahead and stamp them now, and then we will come back for that final look.